Have you yet used this amazing new digital currency created by the market called Bitcoin? And I said, no. And he said, well, start a blockchain mobile app on your mobile device and get on Skype right now.
Bitcoin scene and the cryptocurrency in general is pretty dense in New Hampshire. I think there was a study that came out maybe last year, and they said Bitcoin adoption or use is like the densest in the Shire, which I call New Hampshire. The Shire, like globally.
What if we made a news show that presented, like the cream of the crop of what I discover in like my 2 hours of research every day? Because if I would find that sort of curation valuable, certainly there must be some other people who would also find it valuable.
So this is Kurt Robinson for the Paradise Paradox, and I'm here with Amanda B. Johnson and Pete Eyre.
Hello.
Hey, good to be with you, Kurt.
So I wanted to ask you guys about the story of how you found out about Bitcoin.
So, Jeffrey Tucker one day messaged me, I think on Facebook or something, and said, I'll imitate his voice so you can get an idea of how appealing it sounded, but it was super... Have you yet used this amazing new digital currency created by the market called Bitcoin? And I said, no. And he said, well, start a blockchain mobile app on your mobile device and get on Skype right now. And so I did. And he said, hold up your QR code. I'm not even sure I knew what that was at the time, but hold it up to the screen and I'll send you money over the internet using Skype right now. And I held it up and waited for the pain. I wasn't sure what would happen, but he said, look at your screen. And sure enough, he had sent me some money. And that was my first experience. And it blew my mind, naturally.
You held up the QR code to the camera and got slapped with the blockchain in the face. Oh!
I got block slapped.
Cool. What about you, Pete? Did you have a magic moment when you found out about Bitcoin and when you realized it was going to be something really important?
It's a good question. I think I first sort of learned of Bitcoin. I was living in Keene in New Hampshire at the time, and a co-host on Free Talk Live told me about Bitcoin and encouraged me to download the blockchain. And I just remember getting this client, and it took a while to upload, and I really didn't understand exactly all the intricacies of it. But shortly after, I had some Bitcoin, and that was, I think, in 2011. And then the next year I had some physical custodial Bitcoin and more Bitcoin. I was just, it's been an interesting experience seeing the development of this and the adoption of it and what the proliferation of what it's led to since then.
Yep, 100%, yeah. And so you guys, you both live in Keene at the moment?
No, we will... Pete used to live in Keene, and I visited Keene, but we'll actually be returning to a different part of New Hampshire that I guess is like an hour outside of Keene, like out in the country. Yeah.
Okay. So what is the, obviously New Hampshire, home of the Free State Project, what is the Bitcoin scene like in New Hampshire?
Bitcoin scene and the cryptocurrency in general is pretty dense in New Hampshire. I think there was a study that came out maybe last year, and they said Bitcoin adoption or use is like the densest in the Shire, which I call New Hampshire. The Shire, like globally, which is for us ourselves, we've been in Mexico now for 4 months, and while we get paid in cryptocurrency, we're not able to necessarily close that loop so much. And so when we head back to New Hampshire, we'll be able to get a lot more goods and services directly from people using cryptocurrency. It's pretty exciting.
Yep. So how do you actually, if all of your income is in Bitcoin, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you survive in Mexico using Bitcoin? Do you have some tricks for us?
Well, that's been the more difficult part in Mexico. We, like I always do, I approached our landlord about accepting Bitcoin, and then came to learn that she didn't even have a working computer. And so that was kind of like eye-opening for me in terms of what our ability would be to spend our Bitcoins down here. And so we've just been selling Bitcoin for pesos using localbitcoins.com.
Okay. It's Right, straightforward, simple method. Yeah, cool. Which parts of Mexico have you been to?
We lived in Cozumel, which is an island off near Cancun, for 2 months. We have some friends who moved there, who, they've also been involved with some New Hampshire activities, but they moved there so that one of them could continue their online poker career without being threatened by some self-proclaimed rulers in the USSA. And so our time there was nice, but we thought we'd give Acapulco a try for a couple months, so that's where we just came from. And there's a community that's starting to grow there, but we both miss the community in the New Hampshire and some of the other aspects, so that's why we're heading back up there.
Okay. But would you expect that the Acapulco, obviously there's an expatriate community of liberty-minded people, a small community there in Acapulco. Do you expect that to grow quite a lot?
I don't know. I hope so. I hope that for anyone who would find that their needs would be the most met by living in Acapulco and joining the small community there, I would hope that, and that's what the market is so good at, and that's what the internet is so good at, is showing us all options that we didn't know existed before, so that we can craft whatever personally works for each of us the very best. And just throughout various travels, both before we were together and since, Pete and I just personally believe that New Hampshire has been the most needs meeting for us, but for other people that's going to be other places.
Yeah, of course. So you guys work on the Daily Decrypt, and who was the mastermind behind the project?
Probably me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been the crypto fiend who was always just scanning crypto news for 1 or even 2 hours a day, every day. And, Pete would just sometimes be like, Amanda, we need to be going out the door, or we need to be doing such and such. Are you on the Bitcoin subreddit again? Damn it. And so, just 2.5 months ago, I was just like, Pete, what if we made a news show that presented, the cream of the crop of what I discover in my 2 hours of research every day? Because if I would find that sort of curation valuable, certainly there must be some other people who would also find it valuable. And so that's where it came from.
Great. So what do you have any greater vision for the Daily Decrypt?
Well, we will evolve to be what the market wants us to be. Right now, in addition to providing daily news headlines, we also do the occasional special. Our most popular special to date has been the one where I talk about how I've been unbanked for 2 years now using just Bitcoin and cash. And of course, coverage of this conference will be another special. And so we plan to continue to experiment, and whatever the market responds best to is what we will provide more of.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that sounds fantastic. So check it out, the Daily Decrypt. Did you have any other thoughts, Amanda, Pete? Anything else to say? Any magical words you want to inspire the youth out there? Tell them to stay in school.
I don't know about staying in school. If you find it too conformist oriented, then I encourage you to think for yourself and pursue what most interests you.
I agree.
And also, you can just school yourself these days for free with Khan Academy, and MIT's entire curriculum is online, and Coursera. And I have learned more since leaving university. Probably I learned more in 1 month using Coursera on the internet than I learned in 3 years of university. Thank God I had the brains to drop out before I wasted another year. So yeah, definitely stay in school, but it's on your computer.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening to the Paradise Paradox, and remember to check out the Daily Decrypt on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Tumblr, all that stuff. Check out the videos, great stuff. Consistent, high-quality information about what's going on in the world of cryptocurrency. And thanks for watching the Paradise Paradox here. Remember, you can subscribe on YouTube and iTunes Podcast Addict. And you can head on over to our website, theparadiseparadox.com, and buy some Bitcoin-themed shirts. A shirt that says real money, so represent your love for non-central bank supplied currency like Bitcoin, gold, and silver. And remember too, Acapulco is coming up in February, so the world's first voluntariest event and the greatest voluntariest event. You can head on over to www.anacapulco.com, so that's ANARCHAPULCO.com. Very interesting event. I went this year. It was great, fantastic. Met a lot of interesting people, entrepreneurs and yogic healers and chiropractors and all types of various varied people. So very interesting place. A lot of interesting people to talk to, and we hope to see you there. Remember, if you're booking a ticket, remember to use the promotional code Paradise, because that's going to give you a 10% discount. So we hope to see you there. Anacapulco.com. Head on over, buy your ticket, come on through. That promotional code is only valid till the end of the year, so you just have a few more days to take advantage of that. We'd love to see you there. Come up and say hi.